Did you know that more and more people over the age of 65 are embracing exciting and unconventional ways of living that go far beyond traditional nursing homes? If you're in your 60s, 70s, or even 80s, this might come as a surprise. But the world is evolving quickly, especially in how we approach aging, self-care, and community. Many still assume that life after 75 only offers limited choices: a hospital bed, isolation in a small apartment, or the routine of a nursing home. However, this is no longer the reality. In fact, some of the most innovative approaches to senior living are emerging not from hospitals or care facilities, but from within homes, shared gardens, and even aboard cruise ships. This message is for older adults who are still curious, value their independence, and believe that the later years of life can still be fulfilling and full of possibility. It's about shaking off the outdated idea that aging must mean decline or restriction. We're going to explore 7 emerging trends that are challenging everything we thought we knew about elder care. These trends aren't hypothetical. They're part of real expanding movements that are supported by data and real-life stories from seniors who are already living these changes. Whether you're beginning to think about your own future living arrangements or simply want to stay informed, what we're about to explore may surprise and inspire you. It may even reshape how you see your next chapter. The most encouraging part, it's never too late to explore these new possibilities. So let's dive into what aging can truly look like today, and why the term nursing home may soon become a thing of the past. Trend number 1, the emergence of intentional senior communities. Across the United States, a quiet but powerful shift is taking place in how older adults choose to live. Rather than moving into traditional nursing homes or corporate-run retirement centers, many people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond are opting for a new model: communities designed by seniors for seniors. These are known as intentional senior communities, and they are redefining what aging can look like in America. Imagine a group of retired friends coming together to buy land and build a neighborhood from the ground up. Instead of living separately or entering assisted living facilities, they create shared spaces like gardens, communal kitchens, and cozy living areas. While still maintaining private homes or rooms, some groups are even building small clusters of tiny homes or shared ranch-style houses. The goal isn't to isolate or institutionalize, but to foster independence, dignity, and genuine connection among residents. What sets these communities apart is their foundation on shared values. Whether it's a commitment to sustainable living, holistic wellness, or simply the desire to age alongside people who understand their experiences, these spaces prioritize human connection. Residents aren't treated as patients. They're treated as full, capable individuals with something to offer. This approach directly addresses one of the most painful aspects of aging: loneliness. Psychiatrist Carl Jung once observed that the hardest part of growing older isn't physical decline, but the feeling of being forgotten or no longer needed. Intentional communities combat this by creating a space where seniors are not only seen, but valued. Take Joyce, an 82-year-old woman living in one such community in North Carolina. She shared with a local reporter, "We decided that we didn't want to grow old in silence. We wanted to laugh together. We wanted to be seen." Her words reflect the heart of this movement: seniors building environments where care and connection thrive side by side. These communities are gaining momentum. Local governments are beginning to adjust zoning laws to support them, and even home builders are starting to take notice. More importantly, older adults are realizing they don't have to choose between autonomy and support. They can have both. The true strength of these communities isn't found in their buildings, but in the mindset behind them. The belief that aging doesn't mean giving up control of your life, but rather shaping it on your own terms, in the company of others who care. For those who've worked hard all their lives, these communities offer something more than just comfort. They offer belonging. Trend number 2, technology-enabled aging in place. Over the past decade, one of the most transformative forces in the lives of older adults has been technology. Not just for staying in touch with family, but for redefining what it means to live independently as we age. Today, people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond are increasingly able to remain in their own homes longer more safely, and with greater dignity, thanks to a quiet revolution in smart home innovations. Let's begin with one of the most basic but critical concerns: fall prevention. In the past, this often meant wearing a noticeable emergency pendant around the neck. Now, modern technology allows for far more discreet solutions. Smart sensors, which can be placed under rugs, on door frames, or even inside light bulbs, monitor movement patterns without cameras or microphones. If something unusual happens, like a person not getting out of bed by a certain time, the system sends a gentle notification to a family member. The goal isn't surveillance, but subtle support and safety. Beyond just safety, smart homes are becoming active partners in care. Voice assistants can remind users to take medication. Smart ovens automatically shut off if left unattended. Motion sensor lighting helps prevent nighttime falls. Even door locks can be remotely managed by loved ones. One example is Larry, a 79-year-old who values his independence and lives alone. His son installed several smart devices in his home. Now, if Larry skips his usual morning coffee routine, a habit he's kept for 5 decades, his daughter gets a message. She'll often check in with a friendly text. Larry doesn't feel watched. He feels cared for, on his own terms. This emotional balance is key. As Carl Jung once observed, maintaining autonomy in later life is essential to psychological well-being. Today's tech empowers older adults rather than diminishing them. It reinforces the idea that aging doesn't mean giving up control. It means finding new ways to stay in charge. Telemedicine is another massive leap forward. Previously, a simple doctor's appointment could take hours out of the day, with transportation and waiting times often being barriers. Now, virtual consultations allow seniors to speak to healthcare providers from the comfort of their living rooms. Daily updates on blood pressure, glucose levels, or other health metrics can be shared remotely, helping to catch issues early and avoid unnecessary visits. It's a change that's improving both quality of life and healthcare outcomes. Technology is also helping to combat loneliness. More and more older adults are using apps not just for entertainment, but to build real-life social connections. Some platforms help seniors find local walking partners, share meals, or join weekly game nights. In some communities, a simple app connects a group of a dozen seniors who now gather regularly for trivia, companionship, and laughter, all because someone tapped join. What makes this movement so powerful is its subtlety. It's not about being trendy or showing off tech skills. It's about the quiet confidence of knowing your home is supporting you, keeping you connected, safe, and grounded. And just as importantly, it gives family members peace of mind, knowing their loved ones are protected without being constantly monitored. Better yet, these tools aren't just for the wealthy. Many are surprisingly affordable, and some are even covered by Medicare or community-based programs. Local governments are starting to recognize that helping seniors stay in their homes is not only more compassionate, but also more cost-effective than institutional care. Aging in place used to imply stagnation, sitting in the same chair, waiting for a visitor. Now it means having smart tools that preserve your routines, empower your independence, and offer a gentle safety net. For anyone who values their home, freedom, and sense of self, this trend is a game changer. Aging doesn't mean giving up your space. It means making it work for you as your needs evolve. Trend number 3, intergenerational housing models. One of the most touching and surprisingly effective trends in senior living today is the growing popularity of intergenerational housing. While it was once primarily a response to financial need, more families are now choosing this lifestyle deliberately. The idea of multiple generations living together, or on the same property, is proving to be about much more than saving money. It's about rekindling a sense of connection and purpose, especially for older adults who often feel isolated as they age. Importantly, today's intergenerational living doesn't mean overcrowded homes with no privacy. These modern arrangements are well thought out, respectful, and often beautifully designed. Imagine a separate cottage in the backyard, a renovated garage apartment, or a cozy basement suite with its own entrance and kitchen. These setups allow for closeness without compromising independence. You're nearby your loved ones, but still have your own space and autonomy. Take, for example, the Crawford family in Ohio. Ellen, a 72-year-old widow, moved into her daughter's home, not into a dark basement, but into a newly renovated, light-filled living space. They installed a stair lift, added soundproofing, and made it a true home for her. She joins the family for meals when she feels like it, but also has the peace and privacy to read or relax on her own. The arrangement works for everyone. Ellen gets daily interaction and support, her daughter has peace of mind, and the grandchildren form real, lasting bonds with their grandmother. This lifestyle shift does more than make caregiving easier. As Carl Jung suggested, aging adults crave purpose and roles that make them feel valued. In these households, older adults often take on meaningful parts in the family, sharing stories, helping with children, or simply being a wise, steady presence. Their experience adds depth to the household, and their inclusion creates a richer family life. Of course, not every senior wants to live with family, and that's completely valid. Some value their solitude above all. But for those who fear isolation more than shared space, this type of living offers a powerful alternative, and communities are catching on. In Oregon, one housing development was specifically designed to encourage multi-generational living. With duplexes and triplexes grouped around shared gardens and community spaces, residents of all ages naturally interact. Elders are not sidelined. They're included in the daily rhythms of life. Even city planning is evolving. Some municipalities are adjusting zoning laws to permit granny flats or accessory dwelling units, ADUs, on existing lots. These small homes offer a practical, affordable way to keep aging parents close without requiring major moves or financial strain. Beyond logistics, this kind of living can offer deep emotional benefits. Adult children and parents who've drifted apart often reconnect, not through forced talks, but through shared moments. Morning coffee, evening walks, or casual dinners. With enough space and clear boundaries, old wounds can heal and new memories can take root. Intergenerational housing isn't about sacrificing independence. It's a thoughtful, modern approach to aging with purpose, dignity, and the kind of connection that keeps us feeling truly alive. In a world where isolation is a growing concern, this trend offers a powerful, human-centered solution. Trend number 4, affordable senior co-housing communities. A quiet but meaningful shift is occurring in how older adults are choosing to live. Not in sterile hospitals or exclusive retirement enclaves, but in collaborative, affordable co-housing communities. These aren't dorm-style arrangements or cramped apartments with roommates. Instead, residents have their own private units, either rented or owned, while choosing to share common areas like gardens, kitchens, or lounges with a small, like-minded group of peers. The real strength of this model lies in its intentional design. It's not about being forced to cohabitate out of necessity. It's about choosing to build a life surrounded by people who value mutual respect, independence, and connection. These aren't just random neighbors. They're individuals who say, I want to age in a place where kindness, boundaries, and community coexist. One inspiring example is a co-housing community outside Minneapolis. A dozen seniors ranging in age from their late 60s to mid-80s pooled their resources to purchase land and build small cottages arranged around a central courtyard. They agreed to a few simple practices, sharing meals twice a week, weekly check-ins, and offering occasional help with errands or appointments. There's no staff, no intrusive management, just a group of peers looking out for one another with care, not control. Harold, a 78-year-old resident, described the experience as a return to a kind of camaraderie he hadn't felt since college. We sit around the fire pit on Friday nights, he shared. We eat, debate, laugh, and when someone needs something, someone's close by. But no one hovers unless you ask. This model succeeds because it provides what many older adults lose after retirement: autonomy, meaningful interaction, and a sense of purpose. In these communities, you're not seen as a burden or a patient. You're an active contributor to something shared and dynamic. Even better, many co-housing projects are built with affordability in mind. Residents split utility and maintenance costs, grow vegetables in shared gardens, hold garage sales together, and even share digital services like streaming accounts. It's not about being cheap, it's about being smart, secure, and supported. Importantly, this model also addresses a real and growing fear among seniors: the fear of being alone in an emergency. In co-housing, there's a natural awareness of one another. If someone's lights aren't on by a usual time, someone might gently check in, not to intrude, but to make sure everything's okay. As Carl Jung once suggested, later life should be about more than just survival. It should be about meaning, belonging, and human connection. Co-housing captures that spirit. It's not a perfect system, but it offers a path where older adults can shape their lives in community, not in isolation. These communities don't form overnight. They require vision, planning, open conversation, and patience. But the movement is growing. Cities are beginning to ease zoning restrictions and offer financial support to make co-housing more accessible. For many, co-housing offers the best of both worlds. Privacy when you need it, and community when you want it. A thoughtful way to age with dignity, support, and joy. Trend number 5, high-tech tools for aging in place. A major transformation in aging isn't just about where seniors live, it's about how they live. Thanks to rapid advancements in simple, user-friendly technology, aging at home is becoming safer, easier, and more dignified than ever before. These tools aren't intimidating, hospital-grade machines or complex gadgets only tech experts can handle. Instead, they are smart, accessible solutions that fit seamlessly into everyday life. Consider voice-activated assistants. Far beyond just playing music or checking the weather, these devices now help seniors control lights, lock doors, contact loved ones, and receive medication reminders, all through simple spoken commands. For older adults living alone, this brings newfound independence and peace of mind. There's also a new generation of fall detection systems that don't require anyone to wear uncomfortable devices. These smart sensors quietly observe daily habits, such as when someone typically enters the kitchen or moves through the home. If an unusual pattern is detected, like a sudden stop in motion or missed morning routine, a trusted friend or family member is automatically alerted. It's safety that's both subtle and non-intrusive. Even the bathroom, one of the most common places for falls, is being reimagined. Smart tiles now detect water on the floor, reducing the risk of slipping. Motion-activated lighting helps illuminate the way at night. Some toilets even include discrete sensors that track hydration levels or possible signs of infection, all without changing daily routines. These features work like a silent caregiver, offering health support without compromising privacy. Privacy itself has become a priority in this new wave of technology. Many of these tools are designed specifically for seniors, meaning they don't use invasive cameras or constant surveillance. Instead, they provide gentle, respectful assistance that enhances independence rather than taking it away. Take Judith, for example, an 81-year-old who chose to recover at home after surgery. With the help of her son, she set up a simple, smart monitoring system that included motion sensors, medication alerts, and a video doorbell for secure communication. "I didn't feel watched," she said. "I felt supported. I could rest, heal, and be myself, not just a patient." Her story illustrates the deeper emotional value of these tools. They help maintain a sense of self and autonomy during a vulnerable time. Psychologist Carl Jung spoke about the importance of preserving inner wholeness as we age. Thoughtful technology, when used appropriately, helps seniors hold on to that inner life, rather than being reduced to tasks, charts, and medical checklists. Some older adults may hesitate, saying, "I'm not good with gadgets." But these tools aren't about becoming tech-savvy. They're about quiet, helpful innovations that allow for a fuller, safer life. And younger family members are often eager to assist with setup. They'd much rather help prevent an emergency than respond to one. These devices are already making a real difference, quietly replacing the need for certain kinds of institutional care. In the coming years, smart home technologies will become as common in senior households as refrigerators or dishwashers. Staying at home won't be a stubborn choice. It will be a smart one, supported by a home that evolves with you. This isn't a future fantasy. It's a present-day reality already changing lives. Trend number 6, community co-living spaces for seniors. Not every older adult wants to spend their later years in isolation, and not everyone wants to follow rigid rules about meals, schedules, or social activities. That's why one of the most refreshing and increasingly popular trends in senior living is the rise of community co-living spaces. These are not traditional retirement homes. They're lively, shared households where older adults live together by choice, sharing responsibilities and enjoying companionship, all while maintaining their independence. Imagine it like a more mature version of a college dorm, only with more privacy, better food, and decades of life experience. The concept is simple. Rather than living alone and depending on outside services for support, you live alongside peers who understand the realities of aging. You might cook meals together occasionally, share chores, or just have someone to talk to over a morning coffee. Each person has their own private space, but contributes to a shared, supportive environment. What makes this trend especially powerful is that it's often led by the seniors themselves, not corporations or developers. People in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s are joining forces to rent homes, renovate older buildings, or create small shared living setups that reflect their values and preferences. In Oregon, for instance, 4 women in their 70s bought a large house together. Each has her own room, but they share the kitchen and living spaces and take turns doing the grocery shopping. When asked if it felt unusual, one replied, "We've lived long enough to know what we don't want. We want peace, companionship, and control, and we made that happen." Psychologist Carl Jung would describe this as individuation, the deepening of self-awareness that often comes with age. These co-living environments are an extension of that process, where seniors create spaces that mirror their personal rhythm, energy, and choices. They're not being tucked away behind healthcare protocols or disappearing into isolation. They're stepping into fuller versions of themselves. Co-living also offers practical benefits. Shared living means lower rent and utility costs, split grocery expenses, and more financial breathing room, especially important in areas with high housing costs or for those with limited retirement savings. But beyond economics, the real value lies in connection, laughter, support, and the simple joy of being seen and understood. Of course, like any shared living situation, co-living requires clear communication, mutual respect, and healthy boundaries. But most older adults have already navigated family life, relationships, careers, and personal losses. Compared to that, managing housemate dynamics is a familiar challenge, and one with worthwhile rewards. In the end, community co-living offers more than just an affordable place to live. It provides meaningful connection, personal autonomy, and a renewed sense of belonging, a way to age with intention rather than by default. Trend number 7, wellness-focused retirement villages. What if growing older wasn't seen as a period of decline, but as a time for renewal and vitality? That's the guiding principle behind a rising trend in senior living. Wellness-focused retirement villages. These innovative communities are reshaping the idea of aging, creating environments that prioritize health, purpose, and connection. Unlike the stereotypical retirement setups of the past, think golf carts and passive leisure, these villages are thoughtfully designed to help older adults stay active, engaged, and fulfilled. At the heart of these communities are comprehensive wellness centers, but they're not just traditional gyms. Instead, they offer a wide range of holistic activities and support services. Residents might start their day with Tai Chi, try group acupuncture in the afternoon, get personalized nutrition advice during the week, and enjoy community gardening on the weekends. The goal is not merely to avoid illness, but to promote vitality, mental clarity, and emotional well-being. These villages are often created with input from experts, gerontologists, psychologists, even behavioral economists who understand what truly supports healthy aging. Everything from the layout of walking trails to the lighting design and color schemes is crafted with well-being in mind. The results are tangible. Residents move more, smile more, interact more, and research shows they often remain healthier and out of the hospital for longer periods than their peers in traditional senior housing. One of the most powerful elements of these communities is their emphasis on purpose. Residents aren't just filling time, they're mentoring younger generations, leading workshops, forming clubs around hobbies like woodworking, storytelling, or plant-based cooking. There's a genuine culture of contribution, It reinforces the idea that growing older doesn't mean stepping back from life, but engaging in it differently, and sometimes more meaningfully. This philosophy echoes Carl Jung's belief that aging should be a process of integration, not separation, a time to stay curious and whole. These retirement villages embody that view, helping residents remain energized, mentally active, and socially connected. While not all of these wellness villages are currently affordable for everyone, progress is being made. Nonprofits, local governments, and philanthropic organizations are increasingly stepping up to support the development of more accessible versions. With aging populations on the rise in many regions, there's growing momentum to expand these communities beyond the elite. And perhaps the most surprising part? Many of these villages have wait lists, not because people are afraid, but because they're excited. These places offer more than safety. They offer a lifestyle. Aging in a wellness-focused village means daily walks on well-designed paths, great coffee with good company, and health support tailored to what a 75-year-old body can do. In short, these communities prove that aging doesn't have to be about retreating. It can be about thriving, with purpose, connection, and joy. Final thoughts. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or even 80s, you've likely heard the old advice, better start preparing for the nursing home. But as we've explored today, a very different path is emerging, one that offers more freedom, more choice, and far more dignity. Aging no longer has to mean giving up control. In fact, it can be a time to explore new options, stay connected, and actively shape the life you want to lead. What stood out to you most? Was it the idea of co-housing with trusted friends? The smart home technology that quietly keeps you safe while respecting your privacy? Or perhaps it was the concept of aging in an intergenerational, purpose-driven village, where each day is filled with possibility instead of routine. These aren't distant dreams or wishful thinking. These trends are real and already unfolding around us. Slowly but surely, the world is starting to recognize what many of us have always believed. Aging isn't something to dread. It's something we can design intentionally, with wisdom, courage, and community at its core. Let's be honest, many of us weren't raised with this vision of aging. We were taught to work hard, raise families, and eventually fade into the background. But that outdated narrative is breaking down. You don't have to accept it. You have the power to shape your next chapter in a way that feels right for you. That's the beauty of staying informed and open to new ideas. Change doesn't always come in big waves. It often starts with a conversation, a shift in mindset, or a single decision to imagine something better. So reflect on what you've learned today and maybe share it with someone you care about. Because the future of aging is no longer about decline, it's about living fully on your own terms. Thank you for spending time with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below sharing one insight you gained and how you plan to apply it. Your input matters and truly encourages us. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us keep producing meaningful content to inform and inspire others. We appreciate you watching and look forward to having you with us again in the next video.